So in this experiment, we are going to measure the magnetic characteristics of a given material. So here we have given a nickel or iron rod, small rod is given. So like a needle, okay, this much rod is given. We have to calculate its magnetic characteristics. Basically, magnetic characteristics means whenever we have, let's say, magnetic field intensity which is applied, and we get magnetization on y-axis, so we get some image hysteresis loop. So in this experiment we are going to get some image hysteresis loop and its different characteristics. As we know that this is, let's say, saturation magnetization, then this is, let's say, this length is coercivity. On x-axis we have coercivity, on y-axis we say that it is retentivity. So this is retentivity MR value and this is coercivity HC value. So we are going to basically find such retentivity, coercivity values in this experiment. So we are going to use the hysteresis, you can say, coercivity, retentivity. We are going to find it retentivity, coercivity and saturation magnetization in this experiment. And we are going to use model that is STL 111696, that is dual trace CRO model. So we are going to use nickel sample for calibration. Sometimes nickel sample or iron sample is also used. So we have to do too many connections. So once you are in the lab, you can easily see a solenoid connector. So connect the solenoid connector wire to the solenoid socket of the loop. I will show that you can say front side of that, you can say, this model, STL model, so hysteresis loop tracer, so that you can get an idea how to connect all these connections at the end. Okay, I will show you these figures at the end. So adjustment of the front panel. So on the front panel we have H balance, then we have DC balance, and phase we have to make it to minimum position. Then we have to adjust the area ratio, then it should be 0.405, and you can say demagnetization factor to be 0.0099 we have to maintain. And then we have to you can say derivative J, that is magnetic field derivative, should be at B position. There are 3 positions, but we have to keep it at B position. And we have to find volt per division knob of the CRO to the extreme right, so that there should not be any means whatever reading we are taking, that should not go beyond the limits of the screen of CRO. So there are few calculations and calibrations that we have to do before we proceed for the actual you can say experiment. So first, these steps are very important. You have to go along means read these steps one by one and do the necessary changes. So switch on the low, you can say, history, and do not keep the sample. First we have to take it for the empty, you can say, empty sample holder, and then we have to apply the field about 200 Gauss and keep the demagnet and keep the area ratio to be 0.400. Initially we have to do it like this. So adjust the phase balance, the DC balance, H balance, and gains of the CRO, so that horizontal line of length 6.6 divisions 66 millimeter is obtained. So we have a CRO screen. On that CRO screen we have to obtain a line, horizontal line. So we have to make sure we press XY on the CRO knob should be pressed, and we will get a line which is something like this. So this length of this wire should be 66 millimeter. So you know these small divisions are there on x-axis and y-axis, so make sure it is 66 millimeter. So why we are doing all these things? This is for this, you can say, model we have to do these changes. Then we can find the area ratio by 66 divided by 0.4. This you can say area ratio we have to divide. In order to calculate Ex, there are small parameters that we have to calculate. So for example, Ex is equal to 66 millimeter divided by 0.4, that is the area ratio. So we will get it is around 165 millimeter. So you do it for your own you can say experimental setup, At that time it will not be exactly, let's say, 200 Gauss. It will be slightly different. Let's say for somebody it may be 212 Gauss, or some for some students it may be 200 Gauss, or okay, so depending on that these values will change slightly. So this will be 165 millimeter, and this corresponds to 16 volt. So G0 value can be calculated. So magnetic field divided by Ex we have to do in millimeter. So magnetic value, that was, let's say, 200 oersted or Gauss, and we have to divide it by 165, so it will give me 1.21 Gauss per millimeter. So G peak to peak, we know that this is RMS value. So whenever we have some, let's say, voltage, okay, so voltage is, let's say, peak to peak value we need to find. So in that case we multiply it by 2 root 2 to the VRMS value. Okay, so same thing, or V peak value is there, then we multiply just by root 2 to the VRMS value. So same thing we are going to use it here. So this 2 root 2 is nothing but one, we are going to take it as 2.82, and this is, you can say, 1.21 is our actual value. This is in Gauss per millimeter, and we got that no, we have multiplied it by 2 root 2, and we got it 2.82, and we have got this 3.42 in Gauss per millimeter. Okay, so like this way, if you got this value, then we have to also calculate the VRMS in Gauss per volt. So 6.6 corresponds to 6.6 centimeters, or 66 millimeter, corresponds to 16 volt. So 260 divided by 16, that gives us 12.5 Gauss per volt. And similarly GO ratio, peak to peak, in order to calculate peak to peak we have to multiply it by 2.82, so we will get 35.25 Gauss per volt. Okay, so these are some constants that we need to know. Then for you can say nickel sample, we know the length of the sample is 37 millimeter, and the diameter of the sample is 1.2 millimeter, that is given. Okay, so based on that we have to calculate AS upon AC, so that is 0.135. So, and demagnetization factor corresponding to it is 0.0033. Okay, so now in our case we have to you can say take this area ratio 3 times. So if in our in the case 0.1355 is the, you can say, area ratio, so we have to multiply it by 3, so it will become 0.405. And if we multiply by 3 to this ratio, it will become 0.0099. So ultimately in order to take the readings, you have to take the area ratio. So there is a knob called as area ratio, we have to take it as 0.405, and this okay, so n value, that is demagnetization value, that should be 0.0099. These things you have to set, as you can say, initial state, means initial stage parameters. So for different values of RMS magnetic field, we have to record the loop width, and it is and tip to tip height, for the, you can say, finding the coercivity, for finding the saturation magnetization. So here first of all we will find RMS field in Gauss. So we have given, let's say we obtain such magnetic hysteresis loop, something like this. So this width between these 2 points, okay, so we can measure the width between these 2 points, and we can put it here. Okay, and corresponding magnetic field in Gauss we can note it from the screen. So similarly we can change the magnetic field in Gauss. Okay, for different readings we can get different widths. Okay, similarly we can find the saturation magnetization and retentivity. So you know saturation, in order to find the saturation magnetization, so let's say this is the peak value, and this is also again peak value. So in between this peak value we have to find the number of, you can say, divisions in millimeters, and put it here for different magnetic fields. Okay, so you have to plot these tables simultaneously, means first reading we have to put it in 3 tables, then second ring you have to put in 3 tables, and similarly you have to find the retentivity. So in order to find the retentivity, you have to find the distance between these 2 points. Okay, so this is your retentivity. So whatever loop width is there, that you have to put, because a retentivity is just half part. Okay, retentivity is just this part or this part which is symmetric about it. I have not drawn it symmetric, but it is symmetric. So we are plotting these things 2 times the actual values, and if we finally plot these values, you can plot it and get the desired values. So how to do this, you can say, plottings. So first of all, loop width into 2 times that we have obtained, we have to plot it versus magnetic field. Second is, you can say, y-intercept, that is peak to peak, now y-intercept and versus magnetic field, and tip to tip height on the y-axis versus magnetic field. So first part will give us coercivity, second part will give us the retentivity, and third part will give us the you can say saturation magnetization. So let's say this is the magnetic field on the x-axis and loop width into 2 times, that is on the y-axis. So we will get a graph something like this, and we will plot points on these graphs. So we'll get points like here 1 point, second point, third point, or fourth point. So according to this, we will pass a smooth line from these points and take a, you can say slope from the you can say at higher magnetization magnetic field value, and we will take a straight line, interpolate it on the y-axis, and whatever point it intersects, that point we will take, and so we will get the ex value. So it will be 1 by 2 into loop width divided by 3. So loop width must be divided by the multiplying factor 3 used for the area ratio and demagnetization, which we have used earlier. Then similarly we have to find the values for the tip to tip. So we have to pass a smooth curve from these points, and whatever values it intersects on the y-axis, that value we have to take, and this value is used for the finding the magnetization or saturation magnetization. And fourth graph, that is we are going to find the, you can say, on x-axis we are going to find the y-intercept on the of that image hysteresis loop, and its intercept on the this y-axis will give us the retentivity. So which these values are known to us, 2 times y-intercept, that is known to us, that we have to use. So in order to find the coercivity, so HC, that is the coercivity, G0, which we have already calculated, so which is around 3.42 Gauss per millimeter. So we have to take it our observed value, but it will be close to this value, and into Ex, that also we have calculated. Then AS upon AC, that is area ratio. So area ratio is 0.135. N is the demagnetization factor, which we have taken 0.0033, and finally we can calculate the coercivity. So by using G0, Ex, AS upon AC minus N, all these values are known to us, so we can easily calculate the coercive value. Similarly, we can calculate the saturation magnetization, where we have to use some values. So for example, 40 times this is mu0. Okay, so mu0 value we can find. So gx value, ey value, s value, and gy, and these values are known to us into 4 pi. So if you put these values, okay, all these values are already given here, or this ey and gx value we have already calculated. So sorry, ey value we have already calculated, and gx value, g0, and gy value that we have taken for this. Okay, so that is 101. So we have to put these values and find the saturation magnetization values, and finally we can calculate the this should be, there is no saturation retentivity, this is just a retentivity. So retentivity is saturation magnetization, retentivity is magnetization that is retained when external magnetic field is removed from that sample. So it can be calculated by Z0 into, this is your mu0, into Ey into R. Okay, so we can easily get this value, all these values are known to us. Okay, so this is mu0. Okay, mu0 is a constant, that is known to us, that is known to okay, so its value is 1, its value is also 1, which we can put it here and finally get the answer. So by using this whole, you can say, values, we can finally calculate these values. So actual experimental setup, okay, so we will get coercivity, saturation, magnetization and retentivity from this experiment. In actual experiment we will get some loop something like this. Okay, so this 2 EYs is the distance between the peak to peak, and 2 EYR is the, you can say, this width, and 2 EX is the width of this loop. Then you can say this is your actual instruments photograph. So in this instrument you can say, if we change this knob, okay, this knob is used to increase the magnetic field. If we rotate in this direction, you will increase the magnetic field, which we can measure directly on the screen. So the problem of magnetization is over. So this phase and this you can say HC balance, that we are going to make it 0 initially, and whatever area ratio and demagnetization that we need to put, we can rotate these knobs, okay, and put it change the whatever desired value. For example, for measurement of this all parameters, we are going to put this area ratio, that is 0.405, and this demagnetization, that is 0.99 in this case. And here you can say these pins are used to see this signal on CRO. So it is shown Y into this middle is ground, so Y and ground and X and ground. Okay, so on right hand 2 are from you can say giving the signal for X port. These 2 are used to give the signal to the Y port, and we will get that combined signal by pressing the XY port. And there are 2 knobs. Okay, so this is your one knob, and this is, you can say, another knob. So this goes to solenoid, and this also goes to solenoid. I will show that solenoid for 200 watt. So, and when I do actual calculations, and okay, so this wire goes to solenoid, this wire comes from the solenoid, and I have, let's say, 113 Gauss is the magnetic field. This area ratio and demagnetization is always maintained. So one wire is you can say connected from the Y input and X input is given to the CRO. So with this we will stop here. Thank you.